Hello everyone, Avadhootji Chintana Shri Gurudev Dat. Today I would like to share with you about someone very special in my life. My Guruji. We call Guruji as Babuji. You know, Ramakrishna Paramhans once said that you don't need to find a guru. You just need to be a true Sishya and the guru will find you. Well, today I want to share with you a story of a young boy who lived in a very small village, who had a extraordinary devotional temperament, who was firm on the path of God realization, who found his guru, who surrendered himself to his guru, and eventually became a saint himself. I'm talking about my Babuji. Babuji has always said he never wants to be anyone's guru, but for me, he's my Sadguru. He's my friend, my family, my guardian, my everything. For me, a guru is not someone who claims to be one. For me, a guru is someone who becomes the light of your life and never calls themselves the sun. Bapuji has not taught us through words, through instructions, but through his presence, through the way he lived life, through the way he understood life, and through the way he allowed others to walk on their own path. Bapuji's birth name was Prem Shankar Krupa Shankar Raval. He was also called Bachubhai, and his spiritual name was Prem Avadhoot Maharaj. Bapuji was a disciple of Sri Ranga Avadhoot Maharaj, who was a revered sage from Nareshwar, who is not mainly, but who is very well known in the parts of Gujarat and Maharashtra, although Sri Rangadut Maharaj has devotees all around the world. Sri Rangadut Maharaj has helped millions of people heal from the darkness of Maya and move towards the brightness of light. My family, we are extremely fortunate to be blessed by the divine blessing of both of these great saints. And today, with a lot of gratitude, respect, and devotion, I narrate to you the story of Prem Shankar Krupa Shankar Raval, my Bapuji. Bapuji's father's name was Krupa Shankar Raval, who was born in a Brahmin family in Leech, a very small village in Gujarat. Krupa Shankar's life was filled with deep suffering from a very young age. He lost his father when he was 1.5 years old. He lost his mother when he was 3 years old. He lost his elder brother at 7 and middle brother at 11. So by the time he was 11, he was left completely alone in this world. However, God came into his life through a couple of two compassionate souls, Burabha and Menaba, a couple who had no children of their own. They were neighbors to Krupashankar, and he raised them. They raised them as their own child and loved and him a lot. As Krupashankar grew into a young man, he faced a unique challenge in getting married. At that time, the society had a system called Sata Paddhati, in which there was an exchange between two families. For a family to receive a daughter-in-law, they had to marry their own daughter to the opposing family. Since Krupashankar had no sister or a female relative, it was very difficult for him to get married. However, faith intervened. Menaba visited a saint called Shalingram Maharaj and asked him for the guidance of future of Krupashankar. The saint predicted Uttar se aayega, that is, a family from north would come and Krupashankar would marry their daughter. Prophecy came true. Uh, Shantaben, whose father was working for the Indian Railways, was posted in Ajmer, which is north to Lynch. Later, Shantaben married Krupashankar. Shantaben and Krupashankar lived a simple, content, spiritually rooted married life. Krupashankar was a priest performing karmakand. He was also had a small land and he practiced farming on that. And he was a school teacher as well for a short time, but that phase didn't last long. Eventually, to support the family, he opened a betel and cigarette shop. They had two children, elder daughter named Yashoda, lovingly called Sumi, and the younger son, Bachubai, or Prem Shankar Krupashankar Raval, who was born on 13 September 1931. Krupashankar was a devoted worshipper of Shiv, while Shantaben was a worshipper of Sri Krishna. Devotion surrounded Bachubhai's life early. Every day he used to visit the Shiv Mandir and offer milk and water to the Shivling. Until the puja was completed, he did not eat or drink anything. From a very young age, his life reflected spiritual inclination, one that quietly points towards saintliness. When Bachubhai was still an infant, resting peacefully in his cradle, a snake came near his cradle. And that incident is considered to be very auspicious. Every night, Shantaben would take Bachubhai into her lap and gently talk to him and tell him stories about great sages who lived for God, like Mirabai, like Narsi Mehta, Prahalad, and Dhruv. But out of all of these stories, the story of Dhruv truly got the attention of Bachubhai. And he said, if Dhruv can attain God at 6, why can't I? A quiet longing arose in his heart. From that moment, Bachubhai began yearning for God's darshan, not as a story, but as a living possibility. Therefore, he later got mantra diksha from his mother of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya when he was merely 5 years old. He used to cut pictures of deities from magazines and newspapers and pray to them, not just pray to them. He would also speak to them as if they were real, living. And then he used to offer them prasad, sometimes just a few grains of sugar. When Bachubhai turned 7, his family decided to perform his Upanyan Sanskar, which is the thread ceremony. It is also called Janoi, which is one of the 16 sanskars. It grants right to chant Gayatri mantra. It is also called a second birth. Bachubhai was an avid reader and he read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans when he was only 11 years old, and he read Gyaneshwari Gita when he was 13 years old. By the time of 12 to 13 years, Bachubhai used to perform anushtans, one that even elders found difficult to perform. He observed complete silence, abstained from food, and lived on cow's milk alone. He did three Gayatri Purushcharan. So, one Purushcharan consists of 1,25,000 Gayatri mantras, and he did three such Purushcharans in their prescribed discipline. Bachubhai was already walking firmly on the path of God realization. His mother was blessed with the darshan of Sri Krishna, which further strengthened the spiritual atmosphere of the household. When once the Bachubhai's parents invited an astrologer to prepare the horoscope of Bachubhai and tell the future. When the astrologer prepared the horoscope, he said the Jupiter of Cancer is at Dhyasthan, which means it is in ascendance, which means that such a child is naturally going to be very religious and he will be free from the cycle of birth and death. That means that this is his last birth. Parents were extremely happy knowing this because such a child not only frees himself but also his parents from this cycle of birth and death. Thoughts of renunciation arose naturally to Bachubhai. He would think of residing at the bank of Narmada, doing a lot of tapacharya, nam japs, and then attain Guru. These thoughts he used to share with his friend Mulji Bhai when he was merely 13 years of age. Worried parents, they did think that Bachubhai would someday run away from the house to attain the divine. However, Bachubhai did get engaged at the age of 11 with Madhuben, as his sister Yashoda got married to Vishnubhai due to the Sata system prevalent at that time. Vishnubhai was the brother of Madhuben. Later, when Bachubhai turned 18 and Madhuben turned 13, the couple married. Due to his purity, simplicity, and intense devotion, Bachubhai was blessed with divine vision of seeing God with open eyes in the sky. Well, this is a very rare experience, but it is very natural for such a pure seeker. Bachubhai used to help his father in his pan bidi shop. But he used to use his time very wisely. He used to count how many Ram Nam japs he can do every minute. And then he used to count the time between two consecutive customers and then calculate or do the math of how many Ram Nam japs he could do in the day. During this time, he did almost 1 crore Ram Nam japs, almost 1 crore. Not 1 crore, but almost 1 crore. Even though Bachubhai was already doing a lot of Nam Smaran and he was already reading a lot of text, when he turned 11, he came into contact with a saint called Sitaram Maharaj. He asked Bachubhai to drink cow milk to build a better physique. He asked him to chant Gayatri Mantra at least half an hour, read religious book for 1 hour, and do social service for half an hour. Later, this saint also predicted that Bachu, tu bada admi banega, meaning Bachu bhai, you will indeed become a great man in future. He further asked him to leave his father's business of making BDs. BDs is something that is used to smoke tobacco with. As it is said by the saint, Bachu bhai asked his father if he can quit the business. His father was little hesitant at first, as it was their main source of livelihood. However, Bachubhai's faith was pure, and within some time of him quitting the BD business, he found a noble job of doing karmakand. He became the acharya of all the spiritual activities of the village. Bachubhai was also very deeply attached to a saint who came to Leech. He was from Bihar. He used to come to Leech every Adhik Mas. Um, the saint, after a few years, he suffered from paralysis. Bachubhai used to massage him to help him recover faster. As after some time, the saint moved to Jotana, which was 8 kilometers away from Lynch. Bachubhai used to walk there uh, to massage the saint, stay there night, and then return the next morning. Bachubhai was also an exceptionally bright student, consistently ranking first every time. Once, when he ranked second, he was deeply distressed. He completed vernacular finals of grade 7 with first rank. Along with brightness in studies, he was also very disciplined and well mannered. He used to touch feet of teachers and elders as a form of respect. Though he wished to study in English, the adults decided that he should visit or rather attend the Sanskrit Pathshala to preserve family tradition and independence. Due to skin disease at the Pathshala, he had to return home. This turned a blessing in disguise for him. As he when he returned, he learned Karmakand, Rudri, Mahiman Stotram, and harmonium. At the age of 16, he read an article called Cinema Manoranjan Ya Vinash Ka Sadhan. It was written by Hanuman Prasad Podar in a magazine called Kalyan. And the article said how our brain is affected by cinema. And hence, after reading the article, Bajubai decided that he will not watch cinema for his entire life. He also read an article which was called Chamadani Karun Kahani in the same magazine Kalyan, which said the painful story of making leather, how painful it is for the animal. And hence, he decided not to wear leather for his entire lifetime. Bachubai was ambitious and resolute. He walked barefoot thereafter, even in extremely hot sand. Later, one of his friends suggested for him to wear shoes because walking barefoot would injure his eyes. Then he bought a pair of plastic shoes, but not leather shoes. Bachubhai used to visit Ambaji temple, which was in their village, and he used to lovingly collect all the flowers and make garlands as a form of seva to the goddess. He would carefully choose every flower with devotion and stringing them together not as a ritual, but out of pure love. Bachubhai had a clear vision of cleanliness, leadership, and selfless service to the society. There was a Hanuman temple in his village which was quite dirty because of the monsoons, because of the animal waste, and everything. Bajubai took the initiative to clean it. At such a young age, he was already a very good team leader. So he made a group of 16 such young boys, which were called Shakti Bad Mandal. And they were dedicated towards the selfless service of the village. Bajubai used to write Ramnam in a paper and then offer that to Hanumanji. He never kept devotion just to himself. He also gifted pens and notepapers to his friends and asked him to write Ramna, and then they offered it to the Hanuman temple. During the period of intense sadhana, Bachubhai once had a profound dream wherein he saw himself fulfilling his Brahmin duties. When he opened the door, he saw a room filled with great Siddha sages. They were physically stout and radiant. As he bowed down to the sages, one of them said, "We are Mahatmas from Tibet. Your birth is not only for material life. We manage the spiritual order of the world and deploy soul according to the divine need." At that moment, Bajubai woke up. The dream left him with joy. As Bajubai grew older, the longing for finding Sadguru within him increased. He chanted countless mantras, performed sadhanas, and prayed endlessly, yet he remained confused and restless about whom to make his Sadguru. The longing became so intense that many nights he would cry himself to sleep and pray for guidance. Being so confused, he once decided that if I don't find a guru by the end of this month, I will stop searching for a guru in human and rather pray to the infinite or pure consciousness directly. Generally, Bachubai used to wake up early every morning, but one night the sheer desire and turmoil was so intense that he cried so much that his entire pillow got wet. This shows how deep his longing for God was. Due to the same, he could not wake up early the next morning. That night, he saw a sage in his dream. That was Sri Rangavdut Maharaj. But Baju Bhai did not recognize him. Sri Rangavdut Maharaj is our Bapuji, while Baju Bhai is our Bapuji. Baju Bhai's Baju Bhai's neighbor called Bhogi Mama visited 51st Sri Rangavdut Maharaj Jayanti, which is a celebration, birthday celebration, which is called Jayanti. It was in the year 1949, which was held in Chhani, Vadodara. He brought a photo of Sri Rangavdut Maharaj from there and placed it in his room, puja room. When Bachubai saw this picture, he was mesmerized and hence requested Bhogi Mama to take him to the darshan of the saint. It was Friday, 24th March 1950, when Bhogi Mama and Bachubai set themselves to go to Nareshwar and darshan of Sri Rangavdut Maharaj. It was a dream becoming reality for Bachubai at the age of 18. By the time Bachubai and Bhogi Mama reached Nareshwar, it was already dark. But there was a strict rule that one must bathe in Narmada before the darshan of Babuji. Therefore, despite of the darkness and fatigue, both of them went to Narmada and bathed. It was pitch dark when Bachubai reached, so he could not see Babuji's eyes. Babuji, I want to see your eyes, said Bachubai with a lot of innocence. Babuji replied gently with compassion, I cannot bear light on my eyes at night. My retina is detached. I'm going out of town tomorrow. Come to the railway station in the morning. You will be able to see my eyes then. Next day, Bachubhai met Babji at the railway station. The train arrived and halted for 15 to 20 minutes. The early morning sun was soft and the eyes could bear the light. Therefore, Babji was not wearing any goggles. At the age of 18, Bachubai finally looked straight into Babji's eyes, which was radiant, bright, and full of divinity. At that moment, Bachubai's long search ended, and he considered Sri Rangodut Maharaj as his Sadguru from the bottom of his heart. Actually, Bachubai felt that Babji was not just a saint, but a living divine. Nonetheless, Babji also never wanted to be anyone's guru. The other noteworthy point is that young Bachubhai had desired to go to bank of Narmada for sadhana, and destiny endorsed his desire very well, that he got a sage from Nareshwar and he made him his guru. And I'm truly very excited to share with you how he met his Sadguru at the bank of Narmada and how Bachubhai's life was completely transformed after meeting his Sadguru. This event not only marked as um, start of making Prem Avadhootji from Bachubhai, but also gave us our Prem Avadhootji Maharaj, Bhai, Bapuji, or Premu Dada. And I would share with you the same in the upcoming videos. Till then, Avadhuta Chintana Shri Guru Dev Dutt.